Look at me, 92, and I still enjoy swimming and golfing and biking, all sports.
Whoopee.
That too.
Are you looking for the perfect gift for any sports fan, or just looking to add some stuff to your own man cave? Then head on in to MVP Collectibles at the St. Augustine Outlets Mall. They carry Seminoles, Gators, Bulldogs, Canes, Longhorns, Bama, Buckeyes, Wolverines, Vols, you name it. They have Patriots, Jaguars, Titans, Dolphins, Browns, Ravens, Steelers, Chiefs, whoever you're looking for. Yankees, Red Sox, Cardinals, Braves, whoever you like. The best selection you'll ever find for the sports fan that thinks they have it all. That's MVP Collectibles in the St. Augustine Outlets Mall, Suite 245, right across from the food court in the St. Augustine Outlets Mall. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6. Get your man cave popping today at MVP Collectibles.
We are the Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for sports talk live from the First Coast.
Real men of genius. Today we salute you, Mr. Fantasy Football Manager Guy. Every year you assemble your closest friends to prepare for another season in the knockdown, drag-out world of make-believe football. You were born with the one skill every manager needs to play fantasy football. Absolutely no skill playing real football. Mr. Fantasy Football Manager.
Make sure to join the Armchair Quarterbacks right here. You want to win your league? Then listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. And don't be scared to tap that app. Find the Armchair Quarterbacks app today.
Fantasy football time.
This party's getting a little too quiet. I think it's time we liven it up with my favorite gift, Mr. Microphone.
Hey, what's that?
Well, you set the dial on your FM radio and testing.
I'm on the radio.
Over any FM car radio.
Hey, good looking. We'll be back to pick you up later.
I got one.
I got one. I got one. I got one.
Practical and great fun for the whole family.
This year, choose a yogurt that's right for you. With 2 grams of sugar per 5.3 ounce serving, Too Good Greek yogurt is too good to be true. So Delicious dairy-free yogurt and Silk yogurt alternatives are delicious plant-based swaps you can enjoy by the spoon or add to recipes. Oikos 000 yogurt and Light and Fit yogurt are tasty, non-fat yogurt options. So many flavors, varieties, and possibilities. Elevate any recipe and your everyday with yogurt. Shop at Target.
Hi, this is Britney Spears.
What up, this Jay-Z.
This is Jennifer Lopez. Armchair.
That's right, I stepped up. She's my friend and she needed help. If I had to, I'd pee on any one of you.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
But what the hell, boy?
Make sure to listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. Good enough for us down here in the bayou. Go Tigers and the Armchair Quarterbacks.
It's morning.
Yes, and what a lovely morning.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Fall asleep watching TV and then get pissed off when somebody changes the channel. Be a man.
Hola, travelers. Steezy snack jar. Coca-Cola. Oh, Reese's. I love those Rolos. Tootsie Pops. Skittles in raw. Gnarly. Ooh, York. Minty fresh chocolates. Yum. Snacky Packs. Oh, chocolate? Yum. Dang, red vines in raw, no way. Trace Musketeers. Snickers bars, those are the big ones. Milky Way. Galaxies of flavor. Oh, giant candy bars. Nice. Man, these are A-plus munchies. Locked in the fridge. Okay. No way! Oh, M&M's from the thing?
Armchair.
CBS Sports Radio.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on CBS Sports Radio, #1 sports station.
Good morning, and this is your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. It's Yankees-Red Sox weekend in Major League Baseball once again, and this time it'll take place in Fenway Park. New York and Boston battling atop the AL East with the Tampa Bay Rays as well. Tampa hosts the Angels at 7:10. Also at 7:10, the two oldest teams in baseball, the Atlanta Braves and the Cincinnati Reds. In Cincinnati, both franchises fighting for their playoff lives. 8:15, Pirates and Cardinals, and at 10:10, we've got the Cubs and Dodgers again. That game will be on Major League Baseball Network, 4:10 Eastern. Rockies and Brewers, along with Phillies and Mets. The Philadelphia-New York game is the first part of a doubleheader, a makeup date from April 15th. Orioles and Blue Jays at 7:07, and on ESPN Plus, you can catch the Tigers hosting the Houston Astros. 7:10, Nats and Marlins, and at 7:40, estimated is the second game of that doubleheader of New York and Philadelphia. Royals and Rangers are under the lights at 8:05, Indians at Twins at 8:10, and the Mariners head to the south side of Chicago to take on the White Sox. While at 9:45, you've got a great series beginning by the Bay. The Oakland Athletics are at the San Francisco Giants. 10:10 Eastern, the Arizona Diamondbacks, over 30 games under 500. They'll travel to the San Diego Padres. The NBA playoffs continues tonight. 8:30 Eastern on TNT. It's game number 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Hawks at the Bucks in Milwaukee. The College World Series continues today. 2 o'clock Eastern. North Carolina State is the favorite to move on, as they would have to be beaten twice this weekend. And at 7 Eastern, the same thing goes for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. And that's your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. Stay tuned for the Armchair Quarterbacks radio show and YouTube Live. Please like, subscribe, and share our show today. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for sports talk, live from the First Coast. Good morning. It's time to wake up, y'all. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. We're here weekdays on CBS Radio, YouTube Live, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. The Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for Southern Sports Talk. Good morning, Mr. Justin Waller.
Good morning. I don't know much, but I know one thing. I'm going to have to get me one of them fridges from the info. Let's see if I can shoot Skittles out of my ice dispenser as soon as we get off air.
I'm Mike McGinn. I don't know much, but I know one thing. Justin and I have decided that we are going to identify as the new female bobsled team in the this year's upcoming Olympics to get a free ride over to Japan.
I'm definitely driving. You're the pusher.
I'm banking on a lot of downhill momentum. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks. Well,
stay in the relationship, right? You get married, 15 years later, you got a couple of kids, you got a little gut going, right? She starts in on you with that whole laundry list of stuff you got to do because you're married. Susie has ballet practice. It gets over it too. Make sure you're there too. You were there too the other day, and she's very upset. No, you were. I actually documented the record on my Facebook page, and you want to give her an uppercut. No, it's a natural thought. But you don't. You never lead with an uppercut. You set it up with a jab. You get inside. You come right up through the cleavage. You rock that head back. You send it right across the linoleum. Take that dirty pistol out. You lay it next to him. Wipe off the door handle. No, you don't do that. No, you don't. Never hit a woman. You should never hit a woman. You're gonna get caught. You're gonna go to jail. You're gonna get raped. It's awful. You don't do that, right?
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man. With a cool in his head.
Hey, howdy, hi. Top of the morning to you. Welcome to the Armchair Quarterback Radio Show. Mac McGee and Justin Waller. Justin, how the hell are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Mac. We've got a certain individual turning 40 in our household this weekend. So
you? Or is it?
No, it's not me. Trust me.
Okay.
I would be asking for days off if it was.
So okay, so by process elimination, happy birthday to the missus.
That's right. It's officially Monday, but I think we'll be celebrating hard this weekend. We've got family in town and got a long lineup.
This will be her
planned.
second year at 39. This is.
I think she's holding at 33 times, plus 8.
Fair enough.
She lies enough about it that I'm confused about it. I have to remember my age and remember what I have to add to the number.
I never.
Daddy told me marry older woman, teach you something.
I rarely ever bring that subject up with my wife because she always likes to remind me that when we met in the bar, I lied about my age. A lot.
I've never pulled that one.
I said, hey. At that time, I pulled it a lot. I was in my late 30s, and at that time, a lot thinner, and I could pull off late 20s or mid 40s, depending how old she was, and we'll just leave that story at that. It's like, how's it going to benefit me? Daddy issues or a cougar trying to pounce? What's going on here?
Life problems, huh?
Exactly. Life hack. All right. If I can ever drop this weight that we're trying to drop, I should do a podcast for that. For young bucks who are single and give them some tips. No one's gonna believe a fat ass like me right now ever pulled a girl, so they're like, whatever, dude. By the way, with that topic at hand, and of course we'll be doing our weigh-in next week, but we have began a new diet this week. Oh, it's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. I'll let you know this weekend if we actually made it. But It's the fasting diet. And the theory is you fast for X amount of hours per day, and then you eat responsibly in between the hours when you're supposed to eat. And it's supposed to, I told my wife, I said, I'll give it a good solid month or so, but if I don't see some kind of, gain from this or loss, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I was like, I can't do this. I mean, we're talking 16 hours a day that you just don't eat a thing. All you can do is drink, supposedly water. But I'm like, there's going to be some cheating on that on the weekends. We ain't doing water unless they find a really cool version of water. Anyways, I'll let you know how that goes because it's the first weekend we'll go into it. It's all fun and games. You can do it during the week when you're working. You're trying to be. It's a little harder for me because I'm at home, right? So I'm working from home. So it's like, how the hell do I, stay away from all the num-nums in the fridge? That was kind of why I picked that TikTok because I'm like, dude, that's me every day now. I go, oh no, man, look what I found. Crap, I can't eat it. All right, let's go ahead and dive into what we're gonna do for the batting practice at hand, because this subject, I'll kill the music. This subject borderlines on ridiculousness, and I knew that they were allowing transgender athletes to try to compete in the Olympics, and I thought there would be enough blowback where it wouldn't happen. But this story that came out this week, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with it by now, but it's a guy who is competing in the female weightlifting in the Olympics in the heavyweight division, and he's just crushing everyone. He's got squatting like, I think I saw 628 pounds or whatever, which is nothing for a real guy, but a real guy in the Olympics. I'm not saying like your average Joe's like, what the hell are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, I'm about to say, hey, hold up, man. Pump them brakes. I don't know if I'm power cleaning 285 right now.
No, I'm talking about your average Olympic athlete. He's not doing anything that's out of the ordinary for a male. but for a female, they just can't compete. So it's a New Zealand athlete, and they're actually going to let this person compete. And I think the whole thing is asinine. And I find this interesting. A couple of nights ago on Gutfeld, if you've never watched that, Justin, I think you'd really enjoy it. It's a late night talk show on Fox that Greg Gutfeld does, and he brings in different people. It's a new panel every night, but it's really just more for fun. It's not like crazy politics, right? But he had Caitlyn Jenner on, and she was against it. And she said, look, they were testing for this kind of stuff in the 60s, and in the 70s when I was competing, they would, and I do remember this one as a kid. I just kind of forgot about it, but they used to test the female athletes over in the Eastern Bloc to make sure that they weren't taking hormones to, basically steroids. They always called it hormones back then, but it's steroids to make sure that they weren't cheating. And now they're just allowing it. So what say you? Because what's the difference between Home Skillet saying I'm identifying, and I don't know if the transgender person, as I didn't see it in the article, maybe you did, on whether or not this person's actually post-op or not, or if they're just identifying. But what's the difference between that and someone getting jacked up on steroids? Because to me, it's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. It's, oh man, I guess the best way to put it, that's a lot more gray area than I'm prepared to dive in. And you know me as a gray area person. But honestly, I think that
if you're going to identify as a female bodybuilder, can you at least shave your armpits? Wait till you see the pictures of this person. I didn't put it up today because I thought about it. I was like, I think I'm just going to get grossed out having to look at it. This got all hairy pits and everything. I was like, it's not even trying to look like a female.
I think the biggest thing will be the testing. We have seen, I was watching some of the track and field trials last night, channel surfing, waiting for this god-awful weather delay. And then I fell asleep, so I have no idea how much of the game I missed. I'll catch it this morning. But Texas-Virginia weather delay put me in a wormhole of Olympic sports last night. But I saw that, one of the track stars that is doing the same thing has actually been barred from the competition because it came back tested too high for testosterone. So
good.
I just have to put faith in the testing that whatever limit they have set, that I guess they put this in a parameter that's safe, that a female competitor cannot have higher than a certain number. And if you level the field like that, then I guess maybe I could be okay with it, or at least considering that there's a level playing field. If you're going to allow this to happen and have this bridge over in between the two categories or genders of the sports that are in the Olympics, then I think you need to keep it fair inside the parameters of what could realistically be obtained by a natural woman. And if you're within those limits, then I guess you could see it. But to your point, if you come in and you're just dominating and you're not testing and making sure you're in those limits, then absolutely it's cheating. It's just a different.
You're going to do this, because we've had men's Olympics and women's Olympics forever, right?
You gonna start a third category?
Start a third category: men's, women's, and whatever the hell, Yeah. And being that you can compete in it, it's either that or you just combine the two, and then women never get a chance to compete again. And that's what's being lost in this, because normally the woke crowd is going to be for most of the woke crowd is feminists, et cetera, et cetera. It's the women that are getting screwed in this, because you're not going to have a female identify as a man, transgender, whatever you want to call it, flip over and all of a sudden start outrunning Usain Bolt. It's not going to happen, right? So there's a reason why we always had the division, because it's science. It's science. And yet somehow the science is being ignored when it comes to sport. And it's just, I think it's terrible for everything across the board. The Olympics are supposed to be a way to bring the world together. This is not bringing the world together. This is more political crap, in my opinion.
I agree 100%. And as having, fortunately,
they're going
my
to find
daughter's
out
a little bit younger. So she's not in, I have a daughter and she's younger. She's not as old as my son. And so she's not in organized sports. We're starting with it. We're at nowhere near the level, but I try and sit back and think, what do you do in that situation? Say I'm 10 years down the road and this is coming up and we're in high school sports.
And that was
how do I
right?
safely put my daughter into organized sports? It sets women's sports back forever because you can't safely put your daughter out there in that situation.
Your daughter's what?
She's 6 now.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I'm just between 5 and 6. So let's just say, fast forward 15 years from now, and she has spent, we'll say, from ages 8 till we'll say 20-ish, whatever. That she's going to be. We'll just pick a typical one.
Let's take wrestling. We see a lot of transition over in there. Let's take wrestling.
Well, okay, we can take wrestling as well. I was going to use a typical female one, which would be like soccer, okay? And you let a guy take her spot on the Olympic team because he's identifying or whatever the hell he's doing, transgendering, transforming, more than meets the eye. That's all I remember from the Transformers. Which, man, that is more than meets the eye. He takes her spot. The hell kind of sense does that make? And how is that fair to her? And that's the kind of stuff that really, I know at the end of the day, I've never given a damn who's won the women's weightlifting gold medal, but some little girl did. And she grew up trying to compete and wanted to legitimately compete, whether she won or lost. That was the beauty about the Olympics. You wanted your gold medal, but the beauty of it was competition, right? And now it's going, that freak show took somebody's job or somebody's place in the New Zealand weightlifting team. And so that's where I'm at on that. I can't, and I don't care if that gets me cancel culture or whatever the hell. I cannot expect a female to compete against a biological male, especially in something like weightlifting.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's my biggest fear going through is that you just completely annihilate the record books in women's sports and just the equality that they have built over the years and made their sports competitive. I mean, you set them back decades.
Get rid of the WNBA, get rid of WTA, get rid of the LPGA, because we're all just going to compete against each other. And that's a fancy way of saying the best guys are going to be out there playing. It's just ridiculous. Okay, let's get into Mississippi State football as we are grinding through the summer months. And I wanted to pick a fun one for a Friday because Mike Leach, one of our favorite coaches, year 2 now at Mississippi State. And you're looking at, by the way, College World Series doubleheader today. Vandy, NC State begins it. And you said you did not see the end of last night's game, so we will leave. I will update everyone after you leave the show who Mississippi State's going to play.
Yeah, I fell asleep before the game. Even
fair enough.
I think the first pitch got thrown.
And I'm glad you said something because it was coming up on the sports update, and so I didn't want to. So we will skip that part, and I'll update you on the other side of the hour, y'all. Mississippi State football, though, and obviously Mississippi State baseball is doing really well, but Mississippi State football, Leach and company. What are you seeing from them in year number 2?
Well, I expect to see that. I don't know. The last image we have of Mississippi State after that bowl game brawl was not a good look. So I look back at what this offensive built for, it was a rocky season last year. They went 4-7 when you include that bowl. They started to show signs that offense was moving upwards, and they returned most of their offensive line. They've got Costello coming back. I think the air raid offense will get going, and we showed that the defense down the stretch could actually play some decent defense last season. I don't think they're going to be the power of the West, but I think they will be improved, and I think they can become bowl eligible. Their schedule allows it, and I think it'll be a good season. My only question is, what did they do in the offseason to change the dynamic in that locker room? Because you can't have that sort of response or leeches after the game I don't remember the exact comment, but I remember we talked about it at length a couple days after that big brawl, where we're like, your reaction just can't be, oh, well, that's just part of the game. I mean, he just kind of laughed it off and went there. And I mean, you got to have some real leadership in that locker room. Somebody's got to yank them boys around, but hey, we don't act like that here in this program. And so that being said, if you don't fix that in the off season, then there's nothing you built in between the lines that will overcome that action, because you've lost that locker room. They have got to figure out that and eliminate those characters in the locker room that can't, fall in line with the way the program needs to run.
Yeah, I'd actually kind of forgotten about the brawl, but that was an embarrassment, and Leach has to take ownership of that. And then as far as the quarterback situation, it looks like Will Rogers is going to be the starter this year. I'm looking at it right now. Sophomore, Costello, did he leave? Because he's not even on the
he got hurt and Rogers took his job.
Right, but is he with the program anymore? Because I don't see him anywhere. I don't see. Anyways, I'm trying to find out. Maybe he was a senior. I don't know. He's nowhere on the Mississippi State depth chart. It's Rogers, Abram, Chance, who's a senior, and Greek, who's a freshman. So he's either injured forever. So in other words, they're not planning him playing this year, or something's up, because Will Rogers, the sophomore, looks like he's
My point of bringing up Costello was not that he was on the roster, just that we saw him come in and he passed for like 623 yards against LSU. And, at that time they were the defending national championships. We're like, whoa, this air raid's going to work. But then we realized as the season went on, LSU wasn't exactly defending national champions that we thought they would be. So there was a little bit lackluster, but we saw the high offense performance out of that.
So the SEC, I think you can run an air raid offense, but he's got to get the talent in there to run it. And I think that's going to be his biggest obstacle. Is Mississippi State is not – look, there's a reason why their last coach left to go to the University of Florida, because they have so much restrictions on how much money that they can generate and bring in. And so that also is obviously going to affect your recruiting. I think he still gets a pass this year, and I think you have to see what he does in year number 3, because for all intents and purposes, this is kind of his first year.
And I'm going to say it's going to put a lot on his defensive coordinator and the defensive side of the ball, because the downfall to the air raid offense is
my God.
I feel like this is a University of North Texas. I just watched Necessary Roughness night before
going down a huddle. All it's doing is get us faster to the punting unit. That's all we're doing.
He said, "You're going to play both ways." Yes, we're going to play a lot of defense. That is the Mississippi State strategy this year. I don't know that they've got – it's like you said, they have to have the pieces to where you can consistently move the chains in that offense. You cannot have the abrupt 3 and outs that sometimes the air raid takes, and it's usually in the start of the games while it's figuring out matchups and where they can have their disadvantages and in-game adjustments, for lack of a better word. You can't stall out with these programs when you're in the West of LSU. I mean, I'll even throw Ole Miss in it, Alabama. You can't give them the first quarter for you to figure your stuff out. Your defense will be spread thin and already gassed by the second quarter.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they go through this, how they navigate through this year. Now, real quick, just looking at their schedule, I'm gonna rattle it off and then just give me your prediction. They got Virginia Tech and NC State at home to start it off, at Memphis, and then they get into the SEC schedule. So they get LSU, at Texas A&M, Alabama. So both of those are at home, at Vandy, at home against Kentucky, at Arkansas, at Auburn, at home against Tennessee State, and at home against Ole Miss. The positive side, their most difficult games are all at home. Okay. But unless you're going to get another roster to help you play those teams, that's going to be an issue. So where do you have the Mississippi State Bulldogs all in all this season?
Initially, I had them at 5-7, but I can realistically be talking the possibility of 6-6. If this offense gels and they have some sort of solid defense, I mean, it doesn't have to be elite shutout, but they can actually stay in some ball games, have a couple stops, and not just let the offense get bleed out to where they're chasing. I think they can sneak a 6th win in somewhere. It's going to take an upset. In my head, it's between Ole Miss, Kentucky, and Arkansas. They're going to have to get some big SEC wins and probably have to win that series or season finale in the Egg Bowl against Ole Miss. I think it comes down to that for bowl eligibility.
Yeah,
because TSU's the game that right there before it with Eddie George and the regime that he has built up there. Don't laugh off that November 20th. I know Cowbell fans will probably look right past that and put that as a W, but I expect big things of that program and some of the names and talent he's brought into that roster here locally. So that's going to be a good game, and I guarantee you that's probably one of the biggest on the TSU schedule this year. So it's going to be one that Eddie and Coach Fisher have circled, and they know that that's an important game for their program. So don't walk past that game, Mississippi State.
I'm in agreement. I think they go 6-6 mainly because their out of conference schedule is pretty easy. But they're going to have to win these games against like Louisiana Tech and Memphis. And of course, what you're talking about with Tennessee State, I don't know if I buy into the fact that they're going to upset them this year, but I do believe Eddie George will build something. But Memphis, we all know that is a really, really difficult team to gauge, and the game's in Memphis. And so they're going to have to pull out regardless. I think best case scenario, they go 3-1 out of conference, which means they've got to find 3 wins in the conference. What is your walk-off for the day, sir?
I just want to tell everybody, have a great weekend. Hope to see you Monday. We going to celebrate the wife's birthday, and be safe, everyone.
All right, brother. Great job. And we will see you Monday with an ice pack on your head.
Probably.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you. We're going to be back in a second with the Armchair Quarterbacks radio show and YouTube live. Matt Carr's on the way. We're going to get to talking the WNBA. No, we're never going to talk.
Collisions and ancient
The Sparks.
match for a good blaster at your side.
Armchair Quarterbacks radio covers the whole SEC the whole season long.
Dobbs heaves it. They're bunched up in the end zone. It's tipped up. It's caught. It is caught. Jawan Jennings.
Just the start of things. First quarter at the Gita Bowl in Jacksonville as Walker digs to the right. Gets outside. The 35. Look out. He's past midfield and he's got a blocker. Cuts to the inside. Herschel Walker. There he goes again.
Straight up the middle. Touchdown. Delayed reaction, but Tebow got it. Oh, jump pass. How about that? Oh, my gosh. That looks like 1955. Holy cow. Are you kidding me?
Oh. This year, choose a yogurt that's right for you. With 2 grams of sugar per 5.3 ounce serving. Too Good Greek yogurt is too good to be true. So Delicious dairy-free yogurt and Silk yogurt alternatives are delicious plant-based swaps you can enjoy by the spoon or add to recipes. Oikos 000 yogurt and Light and Fit yogurt are tasty, non-fat yogurt options. So many flavors, varieties, and possibilities. Elevate any recipe and your everyday with yogurt. Shop at Target.
I'm Amy Lawrence, and I'm up late, always, after hours, hanging out with you on CBS Sports Radio. Check it out, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific.
Hey, everybody. It's Harry Carey for the Armchair Quarterbacks. Get yourself a cold Budweiser every Saturday morning and join in the fun and watch the neighborhood play. 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. They talk about my Cubbies. It's Joey Ariola, Christian Pledge. He's a White Sox fan, but we'll give him a pass. Hey, why do they call it White Sox? Their jerseys always look very dirty to me. Sounds like something that could be cancel culture to me. Let's look into that, Cubbies fans. It's the neighborhood play, only on the YouTube channel Armchair Quarterback Show. Harry Carey signing off. Seeing double, because I'm ordering triples. Go Cubbies and the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
Look, you can stay here in the big leagues and play by the rules, or you can go back to the farm club in Aurora. It's your choice.
Yes, and it's the choice of a new generation.
I've been hoodwinked. I've been bamboozled. Woo! Friday morning, baby! Let's go!
Get out.
Having a hell of a time keeping this thing on my head. How the hell are you, Matt Carr?
I'm good, man. It was good to see old Harry Carey still kicking it.
Yeah, we got him to climb out of the grave one time. So the reason why I've got this stupid hat on is, can you make out the shirt? Because I know it's kind of difficult.
No, but it looks very Del Boca Vista.
Yeah. It's I'm gonna have to put this on because this damn headset's gonna keep falling off. It's The Office. It's a Cabana shirt. And so I was doing like my best Stanley Hudson impression.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's what he was.
I didn't have the best damn sunglasses for, but I was doing my best Stanley Hudson because I was like, man, that hat is a lot like Stanley Hudson, the one he wears down there when he goes to Florida. So
right, I forgot. Yeah, when they went down there for Sabre or whatever.
Right, Sabre.
Sabre.
Man. So it's got like, I'll just have to shoot you a picture, but it's all of them playing basketball. Halpert and all of them playing.
Okay.
Wife found it.
That's two Stanley Hudson Fridays in a row for you.
I know it, man. Well, I think they're all playing basketball. I think that's the theme of this shirt. I haven't really looked at it. I know Halbert's dribbling the ball, so but it's all of them she found it at that same website, and it's a comfortable shirt. I just don't want to know what we paid for it. I really would like to stay in the dark on that one because I'm sure they're raking you over the coals. Anything The Office. Okay, let's go ahead and dive in. First of all, real quick on the scoreboard update, as we were trying to keep the score away from Justin because he has not seen the score, but the Mississippi State Bulldogs are set to play the Texas Longhorns today at 7:00 Eastern. They knock out Virginia last night. I know that game went late at the night. I did not stay up for it. I was
I wanted to check the score about 9:30. It was in the first inning, so I don't know what had happened, but it was not me staying up.
See, what had happened was I fell asleep. I tried to make it to the end of the NBA game, and I faded off somewhere when it was essentially in hand. I think it was like 5-6 minutes left in the game. I started, tapping out at that point. But
it was pretty bad. It was a pretty bad game.
Yeah, it was. What they had to respond like that. But last night's game, just so everyone knows, Texas wins 6-2. And how they got there, I have no idea because I went to bed. What the hell am I standing up for Texas, Virginia baseball till? I'm sure that thing went on till 1:00 in the morning.
Sure.
So today, what you have, the more important thing is the semifinals are set, and you've got Vanderbilt playing NC State at 2, Texas playing Mississippi State at 7. Both Vanderbilt and Texas need wins to stay alive. NC State and Mississippi State are playing with house money. If Vandy wins or Texas wins or both, they will play tomorrow at some point. And I would say
I wish that Vandy game was a night game, man. It's going to stink. It's on midday here.
I mean, that's a really good reason to go to lunch.
For 3 hours.
If you only get like an hour lunch break, I would see your time. I would try to go to lunch around 3:30 in the afternoon. That's probably about the time it'll be hit the 8th inning.
Right.
You can just say that you're trying the same fasting diet that me and my wife started on Monday. Oh, that's.
I'll go back and be like, I think that fish turned at lunch.
Yeah, it's brutal. So the theory behind this is that you eat dinner by, we'll say 7-8 o'clock at night, whenever your typical time is, and then you wait at least 16 hours before you eat again. So you go to bed. So like last night, I think the last thing I ate was around 8 p.m. I'm trying to get it a little earlier, but man, I'll tell you what, I did 7 p.m. the day before, and that was that. I mean, I was ready to freaking rip my arms off and throw them up against the wall. I was like, I don't know if I can go as late. I think my happy place might end up being 7:30, but last night was 8, so I won't eat again till noon today. Now you can have coffee and water, but that's about it, right?
That's what my mom's doing. She can't eat till 12, and then she cuts it off at 8. So that's her little thing.
So if you're gonna do this like hardcore, not parkour, but hardcore, parkour, you're supposed to do in 5 hours, but I can't do that. You're gonna tell me I'm gonna like eat at noon and eat at 5, and then we'll see you. I was like, and I'm trying to exercise. Yeah, okay. And you're gonna have me talking in the beginning. See, I feel like that's good for someone who's just got nothing going on in the mornings and you just sleep in or something, or you go crawl into your desk or whatever. But I've got to be on, man. The lights are on it. You know, I got to be talking, and I can't just be sitting there going. I already are on the fringe of cancel culture every show as it is. I don't need to be going in here, you know,
angry.
Yeah, angry. I'll say some really mean things to some people. Why did I get cancel culture? I didn't say anything racist or sexist, did I? No, dude, you're just an ass, man.
You're just mean. But the Vanderbilt game, I think Vanderbilt's in a great position right now. They got Rocker going. I would assume he's going game today.
I believe he's going today, and so that's where I think it ends. Rocker is extremely overrated. If they can get it to lighter, I think you're okay. But look, Rocker's I've watched him play a handful of games this year, and he's got the talent, but he's really raw. He's not as polished of a pitcher as Lighter, and I think NC State's going to be able to put some runs on the board. Now, if I'm wrong and they get to Lighter, I would think Vandy's got a decent shot. But if they do get there, man, is that pitching staff going to be a mess to get to game number 1? Neither one of those guys will be available for game 1.
Right, but it's a double elimination, so if you can get past game 1, you still have them 2 and 3. So,
but off of short rest,
right?
Because you're talking about Rocker would be pitching Friday and Tuesday, and Lighter would be pitching Saturday and Wednesday. You can't expect them to go deep. And I don't care how much the Vandy coach is known for like throwing these guys till their arm falls off. Those guys are going to get drafted high. And there's going to be parents, there's going to be agents involved saying, hey, dude, he pitches tonight. He doesn't throw more than 70 pitches.
Right.
So if Vandy's going to win the World Series, I'm telling you right now that they're going to have to score a lot of runs, and that bullpen's going to have to be a little better than it has been. But a team that was basically gifted to be able to be in this position as it is, I'm not feeling it. I really think we're going to get NC State and Mississippi State, which will be all-time who gives a damn championship series.
I know you said the polish, and I think Lighter is better as well. But if you look at the year, I mean, the number 1 and 3 strikeout people are Lighter and Rocker, so they're right there. I mean, the top 2 pitchers in the game itself. So I think
he does strike out pitchers, but I'm telling you, he gets very erratic. Like, this is something. So I'd say I probably watched 5 Rocker games. I probably watched about 7 or 8 Lighter games, and he's very erratic. Now look, if Rocker comes out and pitches one of his better games, then all will be well. But he has the tendency to get in trouble early, and that's when NC State's going to have to try to pounce. NC State, I don't know how the hell they got here. They're good. They're a good team, but they're not elite. And they are the ultimate Cinderella team, but especially having to play Vanderbilt at this point. But it's funny that I keep seeing like the rankings change. So they obviously had a poll come out this week. Like, who the hell has a damn poll in the middle of the College World Series? Like, literally, Vanderbilt has Vanderbilt has fallen since the playoffs started. They've fallen like 4 spots. Okay. If you say so,
But I think Vanderbilt's in a great position. Like you said, it's going to be short rest. And I mean, it's a very good point about the agent stuff because, they're Rocker's in his third year. Leiter's in his second year, or is he a freshman?
They're both going.
Are they? Okay.
I want to say Leiter. See, so you've got the 3-year rule,
right?
So Leiter, I believe, is a sophomore, but I think that's a lot. I think that's got to do with COVID or whatever. Anyways, he's technically 3 years removed.
Okay. All right.
I'm pretty sure that Rocker is too, because I think.
Oh yeah, I know Rocker is. Yeah, because he was there when they won it 2 years ago.
Okay, so there you go. So Leiter and Rocker, they should be both in the playoffs. I mean, sorry, in this year's draft.
Okay.
But anyways,
see, man.
Let's go ahead and talk about your boy that was hired. Sudoku is taking over the Boston Celtics, not to be confused with
Sudoku.
Well, that's what I meant to say. What did I say, Sudoku? I meant to say Sudoku. Whatever the hell the game is where you put numbers in that I've never understood. That one. I always walk by people playing, going, "What are you doing, Sudoku?"
Parkour.
All right, well, you stay away from me.
I don't know. Like me and you talked about, man, like a fresh face is never a bad thing.
Be a man and do a word search. Come on.
Right. Connect the dots.
43. He has no head coaching experience, but has been an assistant for quite some time. And the big thing that I know you like about him is that he was under Pop, Greg Popovich, but he wasn't there very long. He was there from 2010 to 2011 season, and I'm sorry, I've got
7 years.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was looking at his players history. Okay, yeah, so he was there 7 years, and then he went to the Sixers where he helped develop Ben Simmons' shooting touch. And then he went to the Brooklyn Nets and taught Kyrie Irving, how to talk to the media. So he's really, really impressed me so far in his career.
He's checking all the boxes.
He really is. Yeah, he's coming from Popovich, I think is a thumb. He's coming from the Sixers, which you couldn't find a more undercoached team over the last several years. And now he's with the Nets, which, let's be honest, you and I could have been an assistant coach of the Nets. So I don't have the most, I'm not going to say he can't do it. I'm just not sold that he's going to do it, because what the hell has he done?
Right.
And where has he been where they've been that good? When you're an assistant, and especially when he first came on as a coach, as assistant with the Spurs in 2012, he had just quit playing basketball. So that means that he was a pissant, right? He was just, he was in charge of making sure that the towels were dry or whatever, right? And so by the time he became an actual full-time coach, the Spurs haven't been good since. So I'm not sold that he's really done all that much.
I'm not sold, but apparently Tatum and Brown and Smart are. That's our 3 core people. So I want to
parkour
people. So, I mean, but like you said, man, like we needed something different just to shake things up again. Just see a different face instead of Stevens. And you said that about any NBA team. Just rotate them every 4 years. Let's see what happens.
I know one thing that's going to happen. The Indiana Pacers are about to be really good.
Yeah,
because they went and got the guy that the Celtics should have hired, Carlisle. I think that's a little absurd that they didn't go after the guy with the best track record. Because he was waiting for that, Matt, because he didn't pick up. He didn't accept the Indiana job till after the Celtic job was filled.
Right.
And we all know why he's over there in Indiana, because Larry Bird's not a dumbass, and he said, "Come on over, man, let's go." So I'm not sold on Stevens yet, because he never really did anything as a coach. Everyone wanted to say that, he's one of the best coaches in the NBA. Yeah. Why was he one of the best coaches in the NBA? The hell did he do? He never made it to the finals.
I know he got you to the Eastern Conference Finals 5 times.
He never made it to the finals, which is like, that is the minimum you should be able to do as a Celtic coach.
Right.
And I'm not going to put all the blame on him, because Danny Ainge never put together a championship roster.
He didn't.
So the trade to move Kemba Walker, That's going to be interesting. I'm excited about that, mainly because I like Horford, but that really was just a money move because you're basically getting a guy who's making half the amount of money that Kemba Walker's making, and frees you up a little bit. Now, do you think that might open the doors for them to sign someone big this free agency, or do you think that we might still be a year away from that?
I hope we do, man, because we've saved some money, but it's just I've been burned so many times by Ainge where there's been so many players out there, and me and you get our hopes up, and then we go sign Fournier or whatever, Evan Fournier. So I don't know if we're going to get a stud this year, but I think Horford being back in that leadership role is going to put the Celtics right back in the top, a top 3 team in the East.
Who would be the guy that you would say, man, that's the guy I want?
I mean, honestly, I don't think you like him, but I wouldn't mind seeing Kawhi in Boston.
But but is that realistic?
I don't think he's going to be a Clipper next year.
I love Kawhi, but he left Toronto because he wanted to go back home.
Right. But obviously
Boston is not back home when you're from San Diego.
Right. But I mean, obviously he realized, I just hope he don't go to the Lakers. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's the guy that I would love to see. I don't think Chris Paul is realistic either. I think he's either going to stay in Phoenix or I could see him going to New York. The other guys that are out there, Mike Conley is going to be a free agent.
That's just not a big name I want, though. I want a big man, big name.
I got one for you. I don't know if the name is big, but he's playing big. Power forward, John Collins. What say you?
Yeah, I love him. Love John Collins. He's a small power forward in my opinion. I think.
What about Jared Allen?
Where is he in Cleveland right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's good. Bring that big old hair over to me. I'll take
that.
I
was about to say, man, the hairdo alone is going to make me a fan of him.
Yeah.
Here's another one. This isn't realistic for Boston. We'll probably do more of this on the next show. By the way, programming note, we won't have a show next Friday because it's 4th of July weekend. So I want everyone to recharge the batteries. But by the time we come back, it's going to be really close to free agency. But DeMar Rosen, start thinking about where you think he could end up at. Kyle Lowry. These aren't ones for Boston because I just think that you're going to, like you said, they need to – there's other spots to be filled and not basically junk up. You don't need more guys who need the ball in the hand, right?
Right.
Lonzo Ball's a free agent. Tim Hardaway. And that's
Lonzo Ball was rumored to the Celtics last free agency. I thought he was going to be there then.
Right. I don't think that's where they go. I think they're going to have to go find a leader. Like a Kawhi is perfect, but then again, I don't know how realistic it is to put Kawhi Leonard back east when he left east. I think it's more likely he goes to like Phoenix and says, "Screw it, let's go."
Right.
Because that's really not that far from San Diego, which is where he's from. And
I like the John Collins play. That would be cool. That's one of my favorite players to watch. Honestly, Atlanta's been fun to watch this postseason.
John Collins is my prediction of who they go after.
I would be down with that.
I'm down. I'm totally down.
Down, baby.
Should I pack sandwiches? Mike Conley is an interesting one because he is a grit, but you know what he is? He is Marcus Smart 2.0. So if you're going to keep Marcus Smart, I don't know why you would go after Conley, right? I know that Conley's more of a point guard, but he gives you that feel of a Marcus Smart, like the gritty guy that you're going to put in the backcourt to facilitate the ball. And, I think it's most likely they go after either a veteran to lead so like a Chris Paul, right? Or B, if they go John Collins, now what kind of money is he going to command?
Right.
After this year, I think he's going to command a lot of money. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do about that. Moving on from the Celtics, the Suns and Clippers. So that series for people that missed that game last night, real quick, hit you with the scoreboard because tonight you've got the big game in the Eastern Conference. finals where the Hawks have a 1-0. But last night, Clippers get the win they need. They're down 2-1. It's 106-92. Paul George 27 points. So he did step up. Chris Paul did play, by the way, y'all. He came back from the COVID, and so tonight we got Atlanta, Milwaukee, and then tomorrow night we have the Phoenix LA. Saturday night, and the game's not starting till 9. The hell are they doing?
They're making you drink.
I mean, what an idiots. What a bunch of idiots. 9:00 Eastern. They act like people are working in Los Angeles, number one, and they act like they would be working at 6:00 Pacific time. It's a Saturday. Oh. They cannot get out of their own way, the NBA. Idiots. 9:00.
I'll be watching and I'll be staying up.
That's ESPN, isn't it? That's the ESPN, because ESPN did the game last night, right? So they got the Western Conference.
Right.
How can the worldwide leader in sports be so clueless about when to start a game? 9:00?
ESPN is terrible.
They're idiots. TNT's dumb enough to go in 8:30 tonight. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I may not make it to the end of that game. I actually want to get a decent night's sleep for once, and I'm not staying up till freaking midnight watching basketball. Now, I guess this will be closer to 11, so I might stay up for it.
And you can't snack.
Yeah, exactly. But 9:00?
You want like a good 5:00 game.
Well, it's Saturday. Why am I waiting around till 9:00 to watch your stupid sport? It's so dumb. Does Kirk Herbstreit and the gang kick off Clemson versus Georgia at 9:00 Eastern? Hell no, because they know no one's going to stay up and watch the end of it. They moved Monday Night Football from 9:00 Eastern years ago to now what it kicks off at 8:15?
Right.
Why? Because no one was watching the last quarter. How the hell can the NFL, college football, even baseball to a degree, figure it out? And basketball, look, we know hockey's clueless, but basketball, get it together. Idiots. Just want to rip off everything, walk off stage. Just,
you need a Snickers.
By the way, for people that missed it last night, Montreal did beat Vegas 3-2. I missed that last night. Why? Because it didn't end till 1:00 in the freaking morning, Canada, which was being played in Montreal, which, by the way, is in the same time zone as New York City. Idiots. But anyways, tonight, Game 7, Isles and Tampa. And I don't have the time in front of me for some reason. USA Today must have went to bed. They didn't update, but I think it's 8:00 Eastern. I'm on the wrong side. I'll tell you what. So from time to time, I go back.
Yeah, it's 8 Eastern.
Okay, I go back and forth between ESPN and USA Today's site. I like USA Today's because there's not as many ads popping up and junking up your screen. But USA Today, dude, they just fall asleep at the wheel constantly. And you don't know who the probables are for the day of the game. You don't know. You're talking about baseball. Basketball will go maybe 2. They don't even have a game for tonight. Some dumbass who was in charge of this obviously doesn't work on the weekends. It took an early break because you knew by Wednesday night there was a Friday night game. The hell are you doing? I have a good mind. Just call USA Today. Just give me the damn controls, dude. I'll do it for you. Pay me something. I'll do it. This is stupid. Incompetence.
That's how the last guy got hired.
Probably. And that guy retired and forgot to tell everybody. It's no one's watching hockey. We'll see you next fall. Okay, let's go ahead and turn back time. Get the hell on out of here before I freaking have a stroke. 9:00 on a Saturday. It's the only game. If it was a doubleheader, I could almost understand it. I'd still say it's too late to start all year long. 8:30 is their first tip for their national game of the week on Saturdays on the same network, Disney, right? They're going to push it to 9 o'clock. Stupid. Well, our viewership is up from last year. Your viewership would be up if 3 people watched it from last year. What the hell are you talking about? Here we go. Man, don't just sit there. React. How is this not pissing you off?
Because I like late games. I love staying up. That's my free time.
We can't all be alcoholics.
We can and we will.
All right. On this date, here's an Orioles one. The Orioles and the Angels in 1961 set a major league record using 16 pitchers, 8 by each side. Ron Hansen, 14-inning homer off the Halos. Ron Klein, whatever. Eventually, the 9-8 victory at LA's Wrigley Field. So the Angels, this is something I did not know. The Angels field was originally called Wrigley Field. So there were 2 Wrigley Fields going on in the world of baseball at the same time.
I didn't know that.
I did not know that. I don't know how I would know that in 1961, but it was a very good year. Birthdays. It's your birthday today. It seems kind of crazy too. You want dead or alive?
Alive.
Alive, Mr. Willis Reed. Man, he is 79 years old today.
Okay.
And for people who don't know who Willis Reed is, shame on you. You ought to know your sports. The famous Willis Reed game from.
Could he have done that today?
Oh, if he had done it today, everyone would have been like, they would have had a conspiracy theory about it.
Right.
It was more dramatic because things were more theatrical back then because you only had a couple of channels.
Right.
And people were actually watching back then because New York was in the finals.
I'm just saying today, like you have to have your lineup set. You have to tell your probables or whatever. So I just don't see like he got
injured at the beginning of the game, very beginning of the game.
Yeah.
If it happened today, no one would react to it because Willis Reed came back in the 4th quarter. And today, no one would have reacted because it wouldn't have happened until 1:30 in the morning. No one would have seen the damn thing. I'm pretty sure that game took place on like a Saturday afternoon. I think I've read that. It was during the daytime. It wasn't 1:30. Now we used to watch NBA at 1:30 in the morning because it was tape delayed. And you had no other choice.
Or we were drinking and watching the replay and didn't realize it.
Exactly. I'll give you a dead one too. How about that? Happy. Actually, there's not a real good dead one. There's some really good dead ones, but there's not a real good one that's dead. Adolf Brummer, the Swiss composer. Don't know why he's on the sports deal, but he was born in 1901. How old would he be if he was alive today? He never would have made it. All right.
Never would have made it.
What's your walk-off for the day?
I want to watch. I really want to watch the Vandy game. I'm going for them. I hope that'll be a fun little next 2 days for them. I'm going to watch College World Series. I want to watch it no matter what because it's been fun to watch. College World Series is my favorite baseball to watch. I know it's not yours.
I'm you're an Orioles fan. I kind of get it.
I mean, come on, right?
If you don't play fantasy baseball, I get it.
Just hanging out with the kids. A lot of kid activities this weekend. A lot of parties and birthday crap to do this weekend. So,
my walk off for the day is I am actually going to pay attention to a little bit of the golf because now that I know that this is one of the bigger tournaments that I'd never really paid attention to. The Travelers Championship. I am going to try to keep an eye on that. Did not know all the big names that had won it over the years because it's changed names, so I didn't recognize it. But also be set for the College World Series, which begins on Monday. So during the weekend, where I don't think we're going to have any baseball, I'm going to go and I'm not watching the NBA because I'm not staying until 4:00 in the morning. So I guess I'm going to have to go with hopefully the Isles pull off the miracle win tonight. And outside of that, baseball, Yankees, Red Sox. That's what's going on this weekend. Braves, Reds is going to be really entertaining because both teams starting pitching is all on the IL. It's going to be a high scoring weekend. But Yankees, Red Sox, how do you not get into that? And they're playing at 1:00 on Sunday. How about that?
That's in your prime eating time.
Breakfast, baby. Breakfast with the Yankees.
I think that's probably a show somewhere. Breakfast with the Yankees.
All right, brother. And we're getting more good news on all the folks that are going to be able to show up for the old school Nashville draft. So that should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, text me later about that because I need to go ahead and get a hotel.
Okay, we'll do. All right, brother. We will see you not next Friday, but the Friday after, as we are taking the next weekend off. And I'll get with you on all those days off that are going to be coming up around the bend, because we're not going to be on during the freaking All-Star game, because I'm not covering freaking Colorado All-Star game when the damn thing should be sitting in Atlanta, Georgia on Hank Aaron night of all time. What is that? Put that thing on at 9:00 at night. Put it on NBA TV. All right, we'll see. We'll see you.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on these CBS Sports affiliates and catching the show on YouTube Live. We're here weekdays. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for Southern sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Gonna get another cigarette.